Now, during this video, we're going to be using two totally free plugins to create our very basic front-end dashboard. Now, it's worth bearing in mind that this is just a really simple example. It's not locked behind password-protected pages or accessible only to logged-in users. You can take it so much further. I just want to show you how you can get started. But if you'd like me to cover in more detail, do let me know in the comment section down below. And if enough people are interested, I'll create a more comprehensive tutorial on taking this to the next level. Okay, so the two plugins we're going to be using is, first of all, Advanced Custom Fields, the free version, and we're also going to be using Front-End Admin, the free version. This is more than enough to get us started with what we need to do in this video. And speaking of what we're going to do in this video, let me just quickly demonstrate what we have set up. In our example, we've got the ability to add a new post and also to edit any of the existing posts. So at the top, we've got new post and edit post. And underneath, you can see this is the actual form itself. So we've got the post title, content, excerpt. We can add a featured image. But the post status is set automatically to draft because we don't want people to be able to post automatically, but you can choose that should you want to. We've got post categories, and we have a couple of those ACF meta fields. We've got a custom field for price and one for location. So that's the basic new post form. If we hop over to the edit post, this looks pretty much identical, but with the extra option at the top, we can choose what post we want to edit. So we can choose a new post, which will create a new blank post for us, or we can open up any of the posts we have created. So let's take this test with category. Once we select that, you'll see now everything pre-fills out for the title, excerpt, featured image, status, the category, and also those custom fields for the price and the location. Now, it's a really simple example, but it should give you the basic skills you need to be able to start experimenting with this setup. I would always recommend you do experiment with it before you put this into practice on a live website, just to make sure that everything works the way that you want it to and all the features you need are included. So now we've seen what we're going to create. Let's take a look at how we're going to create it. Now, once we log into the dashboard, let me just quickly show you how I've got ACF set up. It's very, very simple. But if you want a full lesson on how to get started with ACF or Advanced Custom Fields, there's a dedicated tutorial which I'll link in the description and up in one of the corners right now, so you can check that out and then come back to this video. Okay, so in ACF, we've got one simple field group set up, which is called additional fields. And this, as its name would suggest, are those additional fields that are associated with our post. So we've got a price field, which is a simple numeric field. And we also have a location field, which is a basic text field. And they are associated with the normal standard WordPress post. That's all I've done. I've saved the changes and they are now associated. So if we hop into one of our posts and take a look at all our posts, we'll open that same test with category post up. You'll see there's our title, there's our content, all the information on the right-hand side for our featured image and so on. And underneath, there's our additional ACF fields for price and location. That's what we've got done and set up. Okay, so once we've done that, the next thing we're going to need to do is go ahead and start building our forms out. Now, I've already created these, but I'll get rid of them and start from scratch. So let's come into the front-end form section, and we're going to go into forms. We'll come back and take a look at settings and submissions later. Open our form section up, and you see there's my two forms with the shortcodes we can use to put those wherever we want to. Let's go ahead and create it from scratch. We're going to give this a name. So we'll just call this edit post test, and then we can select the type of form that we want to create. And this is one of the reasons why this is so useful and so simple to work with, is because most of the heavy lifting is done for you. If we open this up, you can see there's way more that I'm going to cover in this video. We've got new posts, edit posts, duplicate, delete posts. We can add new users, new terms, edit terms, and so on. The process is fundamentally the same. But like I say, if you want more details, more in another video, let me know in that comment section below. We're going to say we want to create a new post with a new post form. We'll select it and we'll hit Save Changes. As soon as we do that, we now have basically 90% of the work done for us. If we look, you can see there's our post title, content, excerpt, featured image, post status, and so on. And we can easily come into any of these and change whatever we need to. We can choose what mode we want, whether this is edit, read only, or hidden. So you may have specific fields that you want to have them read only or hidden. You don't want people to be able to change them. In our example, we don't. But again, you have those options should you need them. And you can also do things like drop in messages and prepend text and so on and so forth. But you don't need to. You can leave these as they are. And that's exactly what we're going to do. But we are going to add an additional field or two in. First of all, you'll notice that we don't have anything inside here for the post category. So let's rectify that first. Let's click to add a new field. What we're going to do is we're going to open up this text section and we're going to scroll through until we find the option for taxonomy. And there we go. There's our taxonomy. We'll select it. So we can give it a name. So we can just say category. So it matches up with what we have as part of the normal WordPress. Click and the field name will be automatically generated for us. Okay, so underneath then you can choose where your taxonomy is pulling its data from. So category is perfectly fine, but you have tags and format. And if you create your own custom taxonomies, you could reference those inside here as well. You can also allow people to create new terms. We're going to disable that because we want to lock that down. And you can also see we can choose to save terms. So we'll say, yes, we want to save that. And we're going to say, yes, we want to load the terms. And you can see we can then choose what type of appearance we want. Do we want to use a checkbox or a multi-select? So we'll leave the checkbox as it is. And we're going to set this to be required. There's also more options available, but we don't need to worry about those. We're just going to close that down, lift that up above our submit button so it's in the right place, and that's our category things set up. So now we need to add in our custom meta fields, which is our price and our location. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to add a new field. We know our first one is going to be the price, which is a numeric field, so we'll just say number. Field name, we're going to put price in. You see that we'll put the field name of price inside there as well. And if we want to add anything else, we can do that, including instructions and so on. We're going to leave all that as it is. We'll close that down, move that up, and do the same again. So add another field in. Text is perfectly fine. We're going to put location in, making sure that we have exactly what we have inside here. And there we go. So that's everything set up there as well. So what we need to do is close that and lift that into position. And now once we've done that, we can go ahead and we can just simply hit Save Changes. And we've now saved the changes and created our custom taxonomy field and also our price and location fields. So now we can copy this code from here, which is our short code for this particular form. We'll copy it. We'll come out to our pages and we'll add a new page. We'll call this Add New Post Tutorial, and we're simply going to drop in that short code, and you can see that will pre-fill it out. I'm using Gutenberg alongside GeneratePress and Generate Blocks, but you can use pretty much whatever you want. We'll just click on Publish, and let's go ahead and preview that. And there's our form. There's our post title, content, post excerpt. You can see there's our post status. Our categories have all been pulled in and our price and location fields are available to us. So now we've created the add new content. Let's go ahead and repeat the same kind of process, but creating the edit option. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into front-end admins again. We're going to click on forms one more time. We're going to add a new one in. This time we're going to set this to be edit post form. Change this. Click on save changes. And you see, like we've just done in the past, all of it now has been pulled in except for those custom fields we need to add in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just do exactly the same as you just seen. We're going to simply go ahead, add a new field in, search for taxonomy, choose that from there, put in category, field name, edit mode is perfectly fine. We want to allow people to edit it. Grab category. We don't want to create new terms. We want to save terms and we want to load terms. Checkbox is fine. Required is also available to us. So we've done that. Let's just minimize that. Push that up out of its way, and then do the same for our next two fields. Now, I'm not going to show you again and again and again. I'm going to quickly do this just to get it out of the way. It's exactly the same process we've just seen. Now, if we take a look underneath, there are some extra options here. So we've got actions. You can see we can choose to reload the current page after this actually made an update, or we can change that to go to a custom URL, post URL, whatever you want to do. You can display a success message, which you can customize that as well, or you can drop in the error message you want. If you want this to be pulled up in a modal window, you can do that. You can control permissions. You can say what rule level gives access to the various different features. So we're going to leave everything as it is there, set to the default options. And we're going to click on Save Changes. So again, we have that shortcode. So we're going to copy that shortcode. We're going to come over to our pages and create a new page. I'm going to call it this Edit Post Tutorial, and again we'll drop in that shortcode and we'll click on Publish, and we now have those two forms created. So next thing we're going to do is go ahead and check those out to make sure that everything is working. So jumping on the front end, we now have our Add New Post and our Edit Post options. So let's go ahead and give this a try. So we fill our data in, we'll click on Submit. Our form has successfully been submitted. So let's hop over into the dashboard. There's our sample test post we've just created, and if we open this up, we can see that there's our title, our content, our additional custom fields. If we take a look at the post block, you can see there's our category and our featured image all pulled in exactly as we expect, including the post status. So let's go back out of here, and this time let's choose the edit post. We can click and you can see we can choose any of our posts. So let's say sample test post, we'll click on it, That's now pulled the data back in, and you can see all the options are available, all pre-filled out. And now I can make changes to these and then submit it, and that will update the content based upon the changes that I've made. Really super simple to get started creating these front-end dashboards. And like I say, this is a very basic example. But let me show you just some of the other things that we have as part of the plugin once everything is set up and working like we've seen right now. Hopping back into the dashboard, under the front-end admin, we've got settings and submissions. We've already seen forms. Let's first of all take a look at the submissions. This will show you any submission that's been made. So I've got a couple of test ones inside here you can see, but you can see if I open this up, that will take us into the editing option, and you can see all the data inside there like you've just seen, so you can make changes here as well. But this allows you to see exactly what's being sent via your front end if you're allowing people to create content on the admin side of things and the front end. You can see exactly what's going on. So that's kind of useful. Under the settings section, we have a range of different options you may want to configure to tweak how everything is working. So for example, we've got the welcome, which will show you a basic of how to get started, which we've already seen. Your submissions, as we've already seen, this allows us to go ahead and choose whether we want to save those. So if you want to keep your database lean and not have additional information being saved anywhere else, you may want to disable this option. You can use a local avatar if you want to. We're not going to worry about that. Your uploads privacy, this is where you can choose when someone creates a new post or content on the front end, if you allow media to go into the normal standard media library and make it available for everybody, or you want to have upload privacy, which basically means that that image or any files that are uploaded as part of that post are only available to that post and won't display in the standard WordPress media library. Lots of reasons why you may and may not want to use this function, but it's there should you want to. You've also got the ability to kind of lock down the dashboard. So if you want to hide the WordPress dashboard based upon user roles and so on, you can do that using this, and you can choose where you want people to be redirected to. If they're inside that particular user or user role, you can do that here. It's pretty basic, but if this is all you want to use, then this will give you some basic options. And then you've got your API. So if you want to use Google Capture or reCAPTCHA, I should say, version 2 or version 3, you can drop in the relevant site key and secret key, and you can use that as part of your forms. And also, finally, you've got tools, which allows you to easily go ahead and choose what of the forms you create that you want to export. So you may be working on a development site, testing things out, and then you want to push that over to a live site. You can simply go ahead, download these, and then upload them to your actual live site without having to recreate everything from scratch. Kind of useful. Very much the same as what you have as the tools as part of ACF. Now, sticking with ACF, if we hop over into the ACF section, we have a couple of extra features that are installed as part of the front-end admin plugin. Let's go ahead and take a look at our additional fields. And you'll see underneath the settings, we have this shortcode, which is a shortcode for this particular group of settings. You can copy that and you can use this inside your front-end dashboard or any of your pages that you want to embed this in, and it'll give you access to this particular bit of data. The same thing goes if you hop over to price. You can see we've got the shortcode just for that field. So you may be creating some kind of custom dashboard that you only want them to have access to certain bits of data. Then you can use these shortcodes as opposed to the global shortcode for the overall form. You've also got the option for show on front end only. So if you want this to be available to a front end form, but not available to the dashboard side of things, so if you've got mixed users, you can set this so it'll only show on the front end of your dashboard. And then you've got things like your display mode, where this is edit, read only, and so on. So there's some additional options that are part of this plugin once it's installed that I just want to make you aware of. But that's basically it. Hopefully what this video has demonstrated to you is that you can get started super quickly. A lot of the heavy lifting is already done for you as part of the front-end admin plugin. There's no cost whatsoever, and it's a great way to get started moving forward to create your own custom dashboards. Now, like I say, I've only scratched the surface, and if you want more, let me know in that comment section down below, and if enough people are interested, I'll create some more content. But as always, all applicable links are in the description down below. My name is Paul C. This is WPTuts, and until next time, take care.